What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having yourselves a fantastic day. I guess we can call this a part 2 to making the King Vamp or Playboi Carti animation thing that we got going on here. If you haven't seen the previous video, we started off by making the head. Now honestly, that took way longer than it needed to be. Actually, maybe not that it needed to be, but than I wanted it to take. So this video is going to be a lot shorter. We're just going to kind of, touch up on little parts here and there, I think. This isn't exactly a tutorial on how I'm doing everything. I just want to show my progress. So I think, I don't really need to show 30 minutes of just sculpting a head. But, somebody out there will enjoy that, and that's alright. But moving forward with this, to save a little bit of time, I brought in a body mesh and armature that was already rigged up to the body mesh, or the body mesh rigged up to the armature rather, in my previous few animations. So I appended that over and then just deleted the extra clothing and that sort of thing. Cleaned up the mesh a little bit as there was a little bit of an error, and now we have a full body. And one of my favorite quick tricks to make some clothing is just to duplicate our base mesh or our body mesh that's already synced up with our armature, or parented rather. I will be adding like a cloak sort of thing to Carti, but at the time of recording this, I have not added that in, and it's probably going to be like one of the last things I add in, just because I started working on other things, as you guys will see in a second, and yeah, just haven't gone back to it. Moving forward, I wanted to add some wings, obviously, to our King Vamp here. Now, if there's one thing that I really wanted to do my best and try to get right, obviously I want to try to get the whole project done and complete to the best of my ability, but I really wanted to make some cool wings, like sick wings. So I went ahead and brought in a reference from Google. It's just some bat wings, and then just got to modeling. I knew there's like a few tricks that I wanted to, maybe not tricks, just a few things in particular that I wanted to add to the wings to try to make them look as good as possible. I wanted to add in some of the subsurface scattering, for when like light comes through the thin parts of the wings. Hopefully like it'll kind of like, I don't know what the right word is, like kind of glow up. Like if you put a flashlight to your finger or your hand, like your hand kind of like glows a little bit from the light below. Like there's a little bit of translucency in skin, so I wanted to add that in. And then I also wanted to texture paint some like veins and stuff, because I remember seeing pictures of bats and like dragons and stuff with wings, and that when they're flying, plus the combination of the subsurface scattering, you can see like the veins through the wings. So that's something I really wanted to nail, and honestly, I was very happy with it. Being pretty satisfied with the wings, moved on to the next part, which basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to have Carti kind of go through a transformation, I guess, from normal Carti to Vamp Carti. So that includes, obviously, if you saw the last video, the shape keys from normal teeth to fangs, the eyes from brown to red, the ears from normal to pointy, like those kind of shape keys. So basically what I wanted to have was kind of just a normal skin tone Carti, and then it transform into kind of like more of a, I don't know how to explain it. There's a reference image I was using where he had like a lot of makeup on pretty much. So that's kind of what I wanted to go for. It was definitely time to switch up what I was working on next. I was getting pretty stale working on Carti, which is again why in the beginning of the video I mentioned that I haven't made the cloak and stuff yet. So for our main setting of this animation, it's going to be in like a castle. So I pulled up Google and looked up a bunch of kind of fairy tale vampire-esque castles, just to get some ideas of what I wanted to go for. I definitely wanted some of these cool towers, and also a few of these cool other attributes like the windows and just, I don't know, the architecture to go with it. But I didn't want to make it too crazy because my computer can't handle it, and we're on a time schedule here. Not really, just putting myself on a time schedule. But the whole piece is going to be pretty dark, so I didn't need it to be extremely detailed. So I really liked these towers that I created based off of reference, but I didn't really know how to place them. So something I did to get started was to kind of just layer out a cake kind of sort of ordeal, just different layers of different size rectangles as kind of just like the base to build off of. Like, oh, a tower will go here in this corner, a tower will go here in this corner, this area is going to have a railing. So this just helped me visualize the final product a little bit more, and just to get something going, because at one point I was pretty stuck and I was just staring at the screen for a while. But having these base cubes and rectangles in place kind of helped me get a better visual for the final product. Once I achieved the very most base shape of this castle, I wanted to add a texture into it. Now I knew I wanted a brick sort of castle ordeal, and A texture I've always liked from way back in the day was nether brick from Minecraft, like that purple burgundy sort of brick look. So I don't know why that occurred to me or popped in my head as I was working on that, but that's kind of what I was going for in this. So I added a brick texture. It's the same sort of ordeal I use when I make like city buildings for like backgrounds. You can kind of get a window look with this, but again, here I just wanted bricks, so that's what I went with. I went ahead and added a few windows just to break up the brick, and I added like an orange glow to them just because in the darkness you couldn't really see like the difference of the inset. So I wanted to add some sort of window. I might add something. If you've made it this far in the video, by the time this animation comes out, I might add something in those windows, so it'll just be a background thing. So there's a little hint for you guys. After I got that going for a little bit, I wanted to add an HDR, actually not an HDRI, and then like sort of a sky ordeal going on. So I have a dynamic sky add-on sort of thing. I forgot where I got it from. And I really wanted like a dark kind of nighttime with some like red clouds sort of look at the moon. That was kind of like my starting basis ordeal. And I honestly kept it like that for a while. I may or may not have changed it in the end, but you can wait and see. Alright, so now up in this top right tower is going to be one of like our main scene areas, I guess. We're going to have like a transition that's going to come through to that room, and also Carti eventually jumping out the window to fly. And so I brought the armature just as a reference to make sure there's enough room up in that little space for like a human character. And then I added the same sort of insets for windows. However, I did not add the lights to them because I did not want like a see-through like room-ish. There is one window, as you guys will see, but I didn't want all the other I didn't want there to be a light or open windows all around on this particular tower. And this is where things started to get a little funky, a little weird, dark even. I was looking for assets through Blender kits for this little room, just like background stuff. And this kind of cool little stone carving of people in a circle with like a little pot thing on the ground. Like, I don't know, it just screamed like it would be something in like a ritual castle. So I was like, this is perfect for the aesthetic that I'm going for. I just wanted to add some like background stuff just so it's not some like empty room up top that he's just in. It could just be that, but I thought it felt weird. But enough of that. I went around and added just some more general detail to the castle. I mean, as you can tell now, I kind of bounce between little parts of the project here and there. I'll work on a project for an hour or two, then I'll get bored, take a break, and then hop into another part of the project or something. It kind of just depends if I'm at a good stopping point or not. So this is kind of why I went back to the castle here. I was kind of at a good stopping point with that little room, and it was getting weird like I said. So just beveled some edges, added some more windows to the towers. We got through it. We also added in a desk, like this cool orb thing, and a couple like skull chests sort of thing. Now I also added a log in at the top of the tower on the inside because Carti's actually going to be like perched in there like a bat. So that's what that's in there for. I just wanted to add some like background stuff just so it's not some like empty room up top that he's just in. It could just be that, but I thought it felt weird. Something to keep in mind though is when using some of these like assets, if you're using like an old computer like me, they come with a lot of vertices at times. So at some point in this video, I'll show you how I was using fences from Blender Kit at first, but I couldn't even get like a render started with all of them, so I had to make my own like low poly fences, which look just as good from a distance. So it doesn't really matter. And now, what is a castle without a big grand walkway? So my idea for this was to have like a staircase sort of go up, and I wanted flames up the side of the staircase with like a gate that sort of opens. So I started extruding, kind of getting like that base shape going that I wanted to achieve. Again, with Blender Kit, I was able to find a nice fence, and it was actually already rigged with some empties to swing open. So that was actually a nice find. Removing all the other fences with the vertice problem left it okay to use this fence with a ton of vertices in it. Now it's time to add some flames to our staircase, and I mean a lot of flames. I also changed the color from like a normal flame look to like this red. Ended up changing that one more time as well, but not until way later. Now it was time to take care of those pesky fences. So I just went ahead and brought in a cube, and I actually did this pretty inefficiently, honestly, but it's okay. Just whipped up some fences, and then just like I did previously, used the array modifier and mirror modifier where needed. I also beveled a few corners of like the castle in general, just to give it again, just some more little detail here and there. After placing all the fences where I wanted them to correctly be placed, I ended up adding a little bit more smaller detail here or there, but I think that's enough for this video for part 2 of our animated king vamp sort of thing we got going on here. In the next video, we are going to be working on animation. Actually, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek right now of what we got going on in the next video. But if you guys made it this far, I kind of like this time frame-ish, somewhere in the, we'll say 7 to 15 minute time frame for a video. I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to keep it around there. Let me know what you guys prefer. Anyways, if you guys made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And stay tuned for part 3 within this next week here. Peace.